Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday evening Facebook Live. One of these days, I'm going to remember what day it is. Welcome to your Tuesday Facebook Live. My name is Sarah Edwards, and I come to you guys live every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 to show you a fun new project. I just heard my iPad go off, so we are live and ready to craft. I'm super excited to be with you guys. I came out earlier this morning. I usually get out to the studio about 8:30 after getting the dogs fed and walked and all that fun stuff. And it literally took me probably 4 hours to create tonight's card. So it really is not that difficult. I have just still been in a mess from the retreat, and I was working in this tiny little circle on my desk, and I literally was just so overwhelmed. I was like, I can't even do this. So I cleaned off my entire desk. I put the Facebook Live card aside, and I cleaned the studio, and it felt so amazing to have a nice clean table. And then I went back to the project for tonight's live, finished it, and then I made another mess. So I get to clean again tomorrow. But I think that's kind of part of our life of crafting is we make a mess, we clean, we make a mess, we clean. So yeah, never ending battle, I'm sure all of us have. So good evening, Kelly. Good evening, Valerie, Anna, Susan. If you're just logging on, say hello so I know you're here. So last week, I told you guys that I was making a book for my daughter, for my grandson. And I meant to show you guys it last week because I did come back out that night and put the base of it together. And literally, it took me no time at all. And I'm so excited. I haven't done anything with it since because I was so excited about the base. I ran into the house to show my husband, and I left it sitting beside my nightstand. So out of sight, out of mind. So I grabbed it before tonight's live so I can show you the base of the book that I'm making. And then hopefully I can get it done the rest of this week. I don't really technically need it till Sunday when I give it to her because it's Halloween. But anyway, so hopefully you guys have had a great day. Hello, Stephanie, Renee, Heather, Barbara. Good evening, everybody. Okay, I'm going to flip you down. Let me put the camera over first just so I don't make anybody dizzy. And we are going to start crafting. So let me show you the book I was talking about. So it is, let's see, I think it's 6 by 4. Let me grab my handy dandy ruler. It is 6 inches by 4 inches, and I think it's 2.5 inches wide. So this is the base of it. Inside will be waterfalls, where she can flip up each page to see a picture or write a sentiment. And these guys is where I'm going to attach so the photos can go in there. So it'll probably open this way versus a normal book. I haven't quite decided that. But it was super fun to put together. It's still a little stiff, but once I get everything in there, it should ease up a little bit. But it was a lot of fun to create and make. So I did cut 2 sets. So hopefully I can do a project, maybe not a live because it might take a little bit too long, but maybe I'll do a video and at least post it to my Facebook or to YouTube. Okay, so let's talk about today's card. So we are going to be using the Pretty Pumpkins stamp set. I am using If Friends Were Pumpkin, I Would Pick You, because that is the sentiment that literally spells it all. It literally is perfect. It is perfect for your girlfriend. It's perfect for your husband, your kids, because we all are friends. So if friends were pumpkins, I would definitely pick every one of you guys. So that's the sentiment. And we're going to be using this bigger pumpkin down here at the bottom. And it does come with coordinating dies. Let me bring them all out. I haven't put my magnetic sheet on here yet. But this one coordinates with the 3 pumpkins. This one coordinates with that guy. You do have a leaf. Well, the leaf goes to that guy. And then the vines, that's this vine. And the bigger one is for that vine. So the whole thing has a dies that match. And it comes with 2 extra dies. And we're actually going to be using these 2. And I'll show you what they look like when I pull the card out. So it's not a traditional card. So it looks like a traditional card, but it's not. So I am going to pull this little guy out, and my thought process behind this was you could write your sentiment on here, or you could attach a gift card to this as well. And then it slides right inside. And if you do attach a gift card to it, I put a piece of basic white on the back, not only to write your sentiment, but I covered up the little brads that I put at the side. And I bet you guys didn't even notice that there were brads right there. So that is what's holding this card together. So if you slide this in this way, it will fit that way as well. Not that we want it to be on the side, but you totally could if you wanted to. So this is what we're going to be making tonight. And it shouldn't have taken me 4 hours to do. And it won't take us 4 hours to put this card together, I promise. Okay, so let's see who just logged on. Teresa logged on, Marie logged on. Hello, and thank you, Kelly. It is a gorgeous set. Okay, so our measurements are a tad bit different for this card. So you're going to need a piece. This is Rich Razzleberry. We're actually doing 3 different colors. So this first one is Mary Merlot. And then I thought I would do Rich Razzleberry and then Cinnamon Cider. So this Rich Razzleberry is 4 1/4 inches by 9. And I scored it right at 3 1/2. So it's not perfectly in half. It's at 3 1/2 inch mark. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that and give it a good crease. Let me find my bone folder. I swear, I feel like I'm so organized, and then I go to do a Facebook Live, and I realize that I don't have everything. But I do have it. We're going to give that a good crease. And this is what we're left with. So you have your piece up top, and this is going to be your pocket. But before we do anything else with the card base, let's bring in the extra pieces that we need to finish this card. So your designer series paper is, hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay, our designer series paper. This one's 1 1/2 by 3 3/4. And this is 3 by 3 3/4. So those are the only 2 pieces of designer series paper we need. And then we need 3 pieces of basic white. Our first piece is 1 3/4 by 4. I'm sorry, this is 1 1/2, the designer series paper. So this is going to layer on top. So this is 1 3/4 by 4. This one is 3 1/4 by 4. Sorry. This one's 3 1/4 by 4. And this one is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. This is the insert that is going to slide inside. So all the measurements are right, even though I kind of messed them up when I was trying to explain them. But all the measurements on the Facebook Live are correct. Okay, so what I want to do first is I'm going to just adhere these guys together. Let's get the little stopper off the end of our glue.
Could you try again?
That's hilarious. I must have hit my watch, and Siri, whatever, however you call it, came on, and she didn't understand what I was saying. Oh,
I'm glad you think so.
that's hilarious. She keeps talking. It's going to be one of those nights, but that's okay. At least we're crafting together. So there we go. Hello, Heather. Has anyone else logged on? If you're just logging on, say hi so I know you're here. Okay, so there are 2 pieces. This one is going to go up at the top, so we can go ahead and attach that. The card actually goes together pretty quickly if you're not in a mess. So this is going to go up top, and you do have a little bit of wiggle room when you're using the Tombow. So I'm just going to close the flap. I don't know if you can see that there is a gap right here. I just want to make sure the gap is kind of the same all the way around. There we go. And then this piece is going to attach to this flap. Now I attached these first before I used our brads, just because I wanted the brads on the outside of the designer series paper and not underneath. You could put them underneath, but you'd have to use dimensionals to layer these pieces on because of the thickness of the brads. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to bring in my piercing mat, and I do have quite a few of these piercing mats, but I only use one of them when I'm using the piercing tool. I am not the biggest fan of the way it looks after you pierced a million times, so I didn't want to pierce all of them like that. So I have one specific that I use just for the brads. Okay, so I'm going to lay my card base down, and I didn't go all the way to the edge because I didn't want the backs of the brads to pop out the side. So I kind of just went in a little bit. There really wasn't a magic number that I used or inch measurement that I used. So I went ahead and poked that through, and I'm going to pull the brad out or pull the poker tool out, and I'm going to leave the paper where it's in the same hole. So now I'm going to press my brad in, and then I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. And I am eyeballing it. You could definitely measure it and make sure it's exactly perfect, but it really wasn't tragic. Pull this out. And your piercing mat makes this where the brad goes all the way through. And now when you lift up your card base, your brads are through the other side. So now what I like to do is lay this on a hard surface, open them up, and then I can flip it over and press on it, and it flattens those to make it super tight. So now you don't have to worry about anything falling out of your card. And I will tell you, this last measurement that I did that was 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, it could be a little bit bigger or a tiny bit smaller depending on where you put your brads. So if you put your brads closer to the inside, you're going to need a smaller piece to slide in. If you put it farther out, you could have a bigger piece of your basic whites. Okay, so that pretty much is the concept of how to put this little fun card together. So I'm going to scoot these aside and bring in some scratch paper. I have some basic white scratch paper. I have our cork paper, just a scratch piece. And then I brought in a piece of our, not glimmer, it's shimmer gold. And I put the adhesive sheets on the back of it. I don't know if you can see the little line right there, but that makes it where it's sticky on the opposite side. And then I have a scrap piece of garden green. So first I'm going to bring in my early espresso and the pumpkin. And I'm going to ink up this pumpkin, and I literally just re-inked my ink pad, so he's going to be nice and bright and beautiful. There we go. So we have that we're going to cut out, and I think that's all the stamping we're going to do right this second. So let me bring in my mini embossing machine. This guy is so stinking cute. I was going to bring in the great big one, but I was like, let's just play with the mini one today. So I'm going to grab my plates. The only bad thing about using the mini one is we have to cut each one separately, just because it's not quite big enough. So I'm going to line up the pumpkin with the die, put over my top plates, smash that together, run it through. And if you're getting that popping and cracking noise, that's exactly what it's supposed to sound like. I know it scares people at first, but that is what it's supposed to do. Okay, so I have my gold shimmer. The original card I did, I used cherry cobbler, and I cut the back out, but I thought this might look super duper cute also. So let's run this guy through. He's a little bit stiffer with the little machine. Perfect. And then I have the cork paper that I'm going to do this pumpkin on. Every time I used the cork paper for my retreat thank you cards, and literally every time I touched the cork paper, my nose started to itch. And sure enough, it is doing it right now. Literally, I must be allergic to something that's in that cork paper. So now I'm going to just do a leaf. And everything for the other card is already cut and ready to go. So I just wanted to bring out my little mini embossing machine and use it. I haven't used it in a while. Okay. So now we have all of our pieces. You know what? I'm going to run that. Oh, I actually think it's okay because it's the backing that is stuck to it. So during the retreat, I showed everybody how to use the adhesive sheets, and they were pretty impressed with how awesome all of the pieces popped out. So cross your fingers. Usually it doesn't work on a Facebook Live, but we are going to try it. So there is an adhesive sheet on the back, so I'm going to peel this off, and hopefully all the pieces come out. And it's not. Of course, when I go to do a Facebook Live, it doesn't want to cooperate with me. So we're going to have to sit and peel all these off. So sorry. I should have ran it through one more time like I thought. But at least they're bigger pieces, so it does come out pretty easy. And the glimmer paper is a little thick, so that might be it as well. It's kind of funny. I actually knew that was going to happen. As soon as I try to do something on the Facebook Live, it's like, nope, let's not do that. Okay, so this actually might be a little bit more than I thought. So let's see if this one's working. Oh my goodness. I pre-cut another one, so let's see if this one will work. If not, we might just not use this pumpkin. Let's see if these ones are going to pop out any easier. It really was not that difficult when I was making this card. I think it's because it's the glimmer paper. I should have run it through twice. Yeah, okay. Let's scratch that idea and we'll just move on. I don't want to keep you guys here all night long. Let's get this out of the way. I don't want to throw those away. Let's get all this debris off. Okay. So we are just going to do 2 pumpkins on this card. But you know what? Nobody's ever going to know the difference. Okay. So we are just going to decorate. And I used mini glue dots. But for time purposes, I'm just going to add a little bit of Tombow. Put the leaf on. Flip these over. I'm just having a heck of a day, aren't I? Add some dimensionals to the back. And I want to put down the larger pumpkin first so I can tell where I want this pumpkin to go. So there's that one. And then this one, I'm just going to put off to the side. So I'm only going to put some dimensionals on this side of the pumpkin. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm just going to grab some mini dimensionals. And I just want a couple on this side. Put one right there. And then this side, I'm going to put some adhesive. There we go. And now when I lay it down, it will be pop dotted on this side, and then it will glue down to that side. There we go. And all we have left to do is stamp our sentiments and put a little bit of ribbon on. So this one is Rich Razzleberry. So let me grab my Rich Razzleberry ink. And if friends were pumpkins, I would pick you. And I won't lie, this literally is 2 3/4 inches wide. And that's exactly what the stamp is. And you don't have both sides because they'll be able to see it. So if you mess up, it's okay. Just grab another piece of paper. Okay, that's actually not too tragic. I actually thought it was going to be a little bit worse than that, but it wasn't. So now I'm just going to bring in a little bit of our ribbon, cut off a smidgen, and my original one, I just used dimensionals on the back, But then I got thinking it would kind of be cute to put a little staple in it. So I put it underneath. And then my girlfriend, Crystal, Rose, and Tracy bought me that stapler because they came to the July retreat and I needed one and they had it and I fell in love with it. So there you go. That is super cute and super fun. And you could put a piece of basic white on the back of it to cover these up if you wanted to. Even some rich razzleberry, you could do tone on tone just to cover these guys. But they really didn't bother me at all. I think it added a little bit extra to the card. But it totally would have looked a million times cuter had my little pumpkin works on the back. And I'm very sad that it will work, and I should have run it through twice instead of just once. And I think it's just going to be too time consuming to sit and pick that out. So let's just make another one. We'll pretend that it has it. But it's still super cute like that too. Nobody would have ever known that there should have been another pumpkin behind it. And if they do, take your card back and don't send them another card. Just kidding. Okay, there we go. There's our card base, and it's definitely not our normal. It's 4 1/4 by 9, and I scored it at 3 1/2. That's our piece for the inside, and then we can just start layering all of our card pieces. And you could use either side of this designer series paper. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And since fall is right around the corner, it was actually felt like fall today. It was a little chilly out. I have been in a sweater all day, and the wind was so brutal today. I had to pick up many things that were on my table before I cleaned because the wind kept blowing everything off my table. So I closed the windows, and now everything's fine. So there we go. And attach this to the top. And in the brads, you get black and white. That's why I chose to use the white ones on this one, or that's why I picked using basic white to go underneath the designer series paper, is because the brads were white. So there was a little bit of method behind my madness. So I'll stick that in. And you don't have to leave this in. I like it left in because it gives a little bit of cushion and it won't bend your cardstock when you're putting the brad in. But you don't have to. You can definitely lift it up and take it out. But I think it's just a huge help. There we go. Pick this up, flip it over, open it up, and I'll show you, hopefully that'll show in the camera, but when you just press it down, it does leave a bit of a gap. So when I flip it over and give it a good press, it literally smashes it down perfect. So it's not going to add any extra bulk to your shipping. Let's go ahead and grab the cinnamon cider ink so we can stamp our little tag. Hopefully I got all the ink off of that from the rich razzleberry. If friends were pumpkins, I'd pick you. There we go. Let me grab a piece of ribbon. And you could definitely use the cinnamon cider in color ribbon as well. I just thought having the different colors kind of made it pop. There we go. We can give this a little bit of a haircut. And I've already cut everything out, so we are ready to just put our little card together. Where is my other pumpkin? Well, It is just one of those days, I guess. Well, let's see. It was literally just here a second ago. I bet it fell on the floor. Okay, well, it's only going to take a second. I'll just stamp another one. And as soon as I stamp it, I'll find it. Watch. Never fails. There's that. Cut this bad boy out really quick. And then we'll be done. Oh my goodness. You should never try to hurry because something always happens. Just take your time. And I swear, if you were at the retreat and I showed you how to use the, and then I smudge it. And then I showed you how to do the adhesive sheets, everybody can swear to you that it does work. I don't know what happened with that paper. But we're just going to finish this and go with it. Maybe one of you guys will get this in the mail and literally you'll just start laughing. Be like, oh yeah, that's the one Sarah smudged. But you guys will love it because it's always nice to get happy mail. Okay, put a little adhesive on this guy. Just on the one side, we have dimensionals on the other. There we go. And then we can grab our little green stem. Put a little adhesive on that guy. And there you go. How easy and quick and super cute these cards are. And they're different. It's not just a normal everyday card. Oops, I was out of the screen a little bit. It's not a normal everyday kind of card that you're going to pull this out and have your sentiment. Or if you want to put a piece of basic white on the back, and it does cover up the little brads, you could write your sentiment on the back and put a gift card on the inside. So yes, if friends were pumpkin, I would definitely pick everybody that stuck with me through that live. That was definitely a moment. I have not had a moment of a Facebook Live like that in a long time, but thank you for being patient and sticking out with me. I totally appreciate it. Okay. So that was your live for tonight. If you guys need anything, please feel free to reach out. I'm going to run in and finish our show with my husband, and then I actually think I'm going to come back out here for a couple hours because I am like still going. I have a lot of creativity in my brain tonight. So hopefully it will come out on paper. Anyways, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. If not, I will see everybody on Thursday for our next live. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.